This conference has been a great learning. In fact, my first experience about small-scale LNG goes sometimes in 2011 when I visited Johnson Tiles, which used to get truckload of LNG from the Dahej terminal, and they used to basically use that LNG in some 6 to 8 ton vertical column, which was regasifying LNG with the gravity separation and gravitational force only. And there was no O&M cost was there in that regasification, only the truck cost and the capital cost of the vaporization system was involved in that. So from that level, coming up to today, of course, there is a lot of growth, but there's much more growth which is needed. I also recall the way you mentioned yesterday, the liquid LNG to be supplied in household to replace the LPG cascade, and there are millions and millions and crores of such opportunities. And let me just tell you that we had a scheme, Ujjwala, though of course LPG is being supplied under all social schemes as a subsidized fuel for cooking. But I think to enforce LNG, we should also create a scheme like Ujjwala, and we could call it as a Sheetala. So if we have some kind of scheme to replace LPG in household usages or even in commercial usages to keep some of 4 or 5 or 1 ton bottle in the bottom of the house instead of LPG caskets, I think that's going to be a much more viable and much more feasible as well, both viable in terms of economy as well as the feasible in terms of operating it. So that's the way I think we should move forward. And I remember that when we were working out the 12th plan in 2011, we had 2 major policies. One was to eliminate kerosene completely from the system, and second was to introduce 25% of gas supplies through the pipe gas instead of LPG of total volumes. And today we consume about 32 million tons of LPG, but our total supplies of pipe gas is just 1.5 crores connections, 1.57 crores are the total connections, which is only 5% of the total LPG supply. So there is a need for a greater penetration of pipe gas inside the country as the urbanization is increasing, and I think government should come up with some such policies like Ujjwala, you could call it to be Sheetala, and fine, I mean, that's the way it could really build up for both households, commercial, and also the industries. And I was really impressed by the Inox innovation. I mean, you have created the cylinders, the cryogenic cylinders of all kind of capacities, starting from maybe, I mean, you could create from 12 kg to 12 tons kind of, and we could have the modular LNG import terminals with ships which may have 6,000 tons or 12,000 or even 20,000 tons, rather than we have ships of 176,000 cubic meter kind of capacity. So yes, you could have even the ports infrastructures also accordingly, and that's going to be much more easier, better, cost effective, because number of LNG terminals. Some are operating at around 10% capacity, some are at 20%, 40%, 50% capacity. So not only the small scale LNG at the user label, the small scale LNG terminal should be there at the import label as well. So I think that's going to be one of the better way of utilizing LNG across the country, not only at the household or not only at the industry or commercial label, but also at the state label, where you could have the capacity-based LNG import or LNG supplies from one bigger port to the smaller port kind of arrangement. And I mean, we thought of this kind of capacities like when we were working on the Andaman supplies, because Andaman was using only diesel for its electricity generation, but somehow things could not happen. But this is one of the real good model. So I think that's one of the way. Now, one very important thing I just really worked out was, you see, the amount of money which we spent only on the LPG cylinder supply from the stocks of LPG depot to the household, we have around 32 crores consumer. Even if we take, let's say, 30 crores consumers, and 8 cylinders being used by every household or every connection, it works out to about 18,000 crores of expenditure only on supply of LPG cylinder from depot to household, which may be 5-6 kilometers distance, because we have LPG agencies almost every 5 to 6 kilometers. So obviously, I mean, that is the kind of expenditure. But if we really deploy this volume of money in small scale LNG, is going to create a real big impact. So, I mean, these are some of the things. And let me also tell you that I think we have to really lobby for all these things, and until and unless we lobby for this, things really don't happen in a big way. LNG, as of today, it has grown only due to the commercial considerations. Yes, there are much more bigger monetary benefits compared to many other fuels, which all of you know. But yes, we also need to lobby, because today when we are using about 130 million tons of petrol and diesel, 30 million tons of LPG. That forms about 65 to 70% of total volumes of liquid fuel supplied in the country. Now, even if, let us say, we assume that 20% of this volume can be replaced by different mechanisms, I think it's going to have a benefit of about $8 to $10 billion every year to the national economy. And yes, as a policymaker, should be apprised, should be made educated on such issues where the replacement potentials of LPG, petrol, and diesel, LPG, petrol, and diesel, that can happen in the next 5 to 10 years time frame. We did the workout, the gas-based economy. Everybody talks about 15% and all that, but I mean, these are the issues. How much of LPG you could replace, how much of diesel you could replace, the liquid LNG trucks, how much petrol you can replace through CNG, and how much furnace oil you can replace in commercial activities, or even, I mean, how much naphtha you could replace in petrochemicals. So these are the issues which need to be really thought about, and which need to be forced on the government, so that government gets educated on these issues, that no, I mean, these are the fuels which could replace and would reduce the carbon emissions. It would also generate you additional $8 to $10 billion of excess money to the economy, and fine, I mean, that's the way, I mean, government has to be educated, otherwise things are the way, otherwise the conventional ways are really difficult. So let me, I mean, in this context, we have a panel of five eminent people, those who have been working throughout their life in this sector only, the gas and the fuel sector. So, Mishra Saab, to start with you, you in fact are into the business of LPG, LNG, petrol and diesel. So how do you justify my statement that how much of these liquid fuels could be replaced by LNG in different mode, both compressed gaseous mode or the liquid LNG mode in different industries, different commercial establishments? Please.
Thank you so much, and thank you these organizers to invite us here on this great seminar. Regarding, sir, what you are rightly telling, that currently this liquid fuel like the petrol, diesel, and other liquid fuels are dominating the energy sector as far as the liquid fuel and the hydrocarbon sector is concerned.
In automotive sector.
And in automotive sector, if automotive sector is concerned, it is almost dominated by these two fuels because of its certain benefits of using these fuel. Like in India, the major, what I feel, as for the driving force for any fuel, not only LNG or natural gas, the driving force is the price. Price, overall affordability of the fuel is the driving force for any fuel. When you know, long back, I think around 5-7 years back, even 10 years back, the CNG price in Delhi was approximately 35 rupees a kg, and then the petrol was approximately 75 rupees a liter. Then the attractiveness of the CNG was much more. Now, almost entire country is given this CGD authorizations are there, the GAs are there, and because of this allocation of the domestic cheap gas. Up to earlier it was only $1.97, then $2-3, like say $4. Now it is approximately $6.5, $6.75 per MMBTU. So it is the thing which was driving this thing. Now the volatile price of LNG globally is certainly making the dent on this sector. Like in LPG or this propane, you know. Currently, like in, just I will take an example of a Morbi. Morbi, approximately 7 million MMSCMD of gas and natural gas was being used around 3 years back. But what happened, suddenly the prices of propane came down. And now this 7 MMSCMD gas becomes only 2.5 MMSCMD. And it has been replaced by the propane. Currently, more than 800 road tankers are running only in this small town of Morbi. Supplying, even the CGD companies are planning to start selling LPG or propane. So because of these are the issues, and regarding this conversion to like LNG as transport fuel, there's 2-3 areas are there. Like I have been working in this LNG as transport fuel, introduction of LNG as transport fuel for last minimum 12 years.
Yeah, 2004
12 years.
You have been...
Like Indian Oil is started this concept way back in 2006.
Yeah.
And you have seen that plant
Right,
2011 that we have set up in 2006. So, you know, currently Indian Oil is selling approximately 0.2 million metric ton of LNG by road tanker.
Yeah.
And overall industry, I think approximately 0.5 million ton. It is a substantial figure, you know. Lot of overall sale is approximately 0.5 million ton. And if you'll see in next 10 years, and the main driver would be this LNG as long-haul trucking fuel will be the, like after so many years of struggle, finally every rule, every regulation, everything is in place. Almost everything is in place. Even around 34 stations are working also, LNG dispensing stations. Approximately 98 stations are under various stages of construction. Yesterday only, I think Mr. Maqsood has declared approximately 100 stations, new stations.
Yeah, that's right.
Similarly, BLNG, other CGD companies. What I feel, there has to be some regulatory things are required to drive this thing. One is if number of stations would be there, certainly the truck operator would be more comfortable to buy this costly truck. Because the LNG truck is costing approximately 60 lakhs, whereas the same rated diesel truck is approximately 35 to 38 lakh rupees only. So to getting the payback in 2-3 years time is very important. But I personally feel because of the outlook for this LNG prices for next 2-3 years time, the prices even today, we are selling at the differential of 20%. If the diesel is at around 95 rupees a liter, so we are selling LNG at 75 rupees a kg. And there is a performance difference of approximately 10
calorific value
10 to
differential
overall
is
30%.
30%
So
higher.
a lot of scope is there. Second thing, the actual regulatory thing required to drive this model is the BOG management. If Indian Oil has set up 20 stations, 4 Petronet has set up at our station, whatever. Indian Oil is so bullish on this thing that we have set up world's largest tank manufacturing plant in India. World's largest, not India's largest, sir. We have invested more than 425 crore rupees on setting up of a world largest tank manufacturing plant in Nasik. Considering all these things, like Inox India Limited, they have recently declared 10-fold increase in their production. So there is a quite, like Tata Motor, just in the morning I was talking, they have a current order position of 1,000 trucks, approximately 1,000. And every year 5,000 they are expecting. So this is only Tata Motor. Then Ashok Leyland, Eicher Motor also performing well. See, Blue Energy Motors, approximately running 800 trucks
800
currently.
trucks
So we see by 2030, minimum 30 to 35,000 trucks will be there on the road as per the projection. And the total sale of LNG in this sector would be approximately 0.75 to 0.85 million ton in next 5 years' time. So the actual progress, and wherever this LNG trucks will go, certainly the diesel will come down.
Yeah.
And it is particularly a hard to abate sector like the steel, cement and all this, they are preferring this fuel.
I was looking at last 3 months petroleum product consumption data, and I just had a look at it was around minus 14%, though of course the impact may be from somewhere because of better rains or not much requirement of liquid fuels for many other industries because this last 3 months, of course, due to the rains and all, the heat was also much lower. So Kapil, you are a veteran in gas industry and you have seen all phases of this gas industry. Now this, what do you feel about the replacement of liquid fuels by natural gas? You are a hardcore gas fan, and I think in your blood you have a lot of gas energy also. So yes, what's your view? I mean, how much of liquid fuel we would be able to replace in next 10 years because it's largely going to be the imported LNG because domestic gas production is really not looking up much beyond the current label. So what do you feel that these couple of sectors like household for LPG, automotive for the petrol and diesel automotive and all other commercial industries, one in liquid mode and second in the pipe gas mode?
Very good morning to all. It's always been a pleasure to be in such a conference, jam-packed house, and the learned audience. I always love to be here. Thank you for the introduction. Looking at your question now for the gas part and the LNG liquid replacement. Today, already there are 33 crore connections of LPG, and comparatively, the gas market is only 1.5 lakh crore connections.
Yeah, 1.5.
Hardly a peanut over
Yeah,
there.
5% only.
So, when we look at replacement with LPG or if you say LNG, the main driver is the gas part, not the LNG. Because generally it's the pipe gas which is coming.
Yeah.
And all the CGD entities, though the authorization is for around 12 lakh crore connections, but the connections are very limited. LNG for that LPG part could be two ways. One is that the isolated GAs which are there, like AGNP has already made around 18 LNG station where they are supplying through this mode. And then GAIL gas from Mandideep or Nasik is our example of MNGL, where presently the gas is coming through the transport mode. So that is there, but that is the temporary phase. Presently till the pipeline is not there, this will be the supply from the LNG mode. But the moment the pipeline is there, because the cost economics, which is working now, is always the piped gas will be cheaper compared to the LNG, which is being transported to the trucks. Because a lot of logistics are there, operation is there, regasification is there. So temporarily, all these isolated feeds are going to increase. Gasonet and other places, Mega, they have already come up with these LNG stations till the pipeline is coming. So I feel that in this particular sector, LPG always with the PNG will be preferred. But yes, certain isolated field, you can have the pellet bullets, like 1,000 liter LNG is there. But those things are still on the very nascent stage and still require some approvals and other things. But those could be places where the small isolated villages and other things. You can have this bullet 1,000 liter and it can supply for a 1 week time or something. This could be one of the examples, model could be there. But that require a LNG station nearby from where we can fill these bullets also. So that way it could be possible, yes, in the LPG sector also we replace partly with LNG. But I don't see that much amount of LNG substitution in this sector, but more and more will be onto the side of the transport fuel. So looking at the industry also, again, it's a price competitive. Today, FO and other things, as well as the LPGs and the GST part. So the price competitiveness is there. Still, we are very difficult to say that LNG, you can replace it with LNG there. Even the natural gas, which is there. The industries, many of the industries are now substituting. If the coal is there, FO is there, or still the LPG is also there because they get the input credit. So unless and until LNG or the gas also comes into this sector. And especially LNG again is limited to that G authorization. You cannot supply that LNG to these industries till it is below 50,000 consumption. So that again is restricting the things. I think IOCL has stopped some of the places. GAIL also never gives LNG directly supplied to the customer if they are not a big customer. So there are limitations in supply of LNG. But as far as transport sector is there, Mishraji has told a lot that yes, today there are only 1,000 odd vehicles are there on 30 plus stations are operational. But yes, the future is there. Everyone is working, private sector, the government sector, we are also working at IHL, Ultra Gas, everyone is working on it and expected is around more than 300 stations maybe by 2030 and maybe 1 to 1.5 MTP of LNG consumption could be there in this sector. Good to see that they have announced 100 stations, Maqsood has announced that. Similar kind of a things, looking at the potential, the thing is there. The only challenge is that how to build it faster way because today the industry is isolated. Everyone is fragmented. IOCL is developing, GAIL is developing, Ultragas is developing. Everyone has a different pricings. So the industry as a whole, the transport industry as a whole is looking first the availability of the station pan-India basis, that where I fill the things. And second is the price. Today someone is selling at 76, as Mishraji told. Someone is selling at 81, someone is selling at 85. There's a big difference within the pricing. Yeah. There is as such because LNG, is an open era market. Everyone has to source from the market only. No support as such, what is the CNG, which is at the APM rate is being given to the sector, partly not 100%, still there is a support. Right. Second is that no support like EV sector, there are incentives are there. LNG has to grow by its own. So it is the initiative of the industries and the transport sector to go for a cleaner fuel and So they want to see a visibility of the price range in the future, that it is in a certain band, which I think the industry should come as a collective. The industry should see all the people, whether it's a GAIL or its subsidiaries or the OMCs or the private. We can have one forum where we can see that, yes, this is the price which we are offering to all the people at a certain band. Because definitely input cost is a cause of concern, because everyone has a different types.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, obviously, because
Because GAIL, IOCL, they are the big supplier, BPCL, and even some private players are now coming.
Right.
But still, there is a need of our to get it collectively, put stations in a different way, that everywhere the stations are available, it is not a replication, and the prices are given there. Definitely, this will lead to a growth, and what is projection is by 1.5, and PNGRB projection was also up to 2040 is approximately around 8 to 9 MMTPA. Considering that China, which is already consuming 12 to 15 MTPA today,
15,
and have 6 to 7 lakh trucks, we are far behind. But I see a bright future in there. Thank you.
Good. So, Rajiv, I remember in 1995, you came a bit late, so let me tell you the context. And let me tell you the story, how BPCL came into LNG business. So in 1995, when Dr. Vijay Kelkar was Secretary Petroleum, and we were discussing about import of LNG, of course, on board was, the GAIL was the main mover for LNG imports and all. And they of course proposed a terminal at Hazira or Dahej. But subsequently, the other fuel industries, the IOC, Bharat Petroleum, and of course, Hindustan Petroleum, they also said that, fine, if LNG comes into the country, then it would be replacing our products, petrol, diesel, LPG, and all. So then, of course, IOC head office being in Delhi, chairman IOC could approach Secretary Petroleum much faster than your chairman, Mr. Sundararajan, at that point in time. But then Mr. Sundararajan, when he came to know that, yes, the ministry is talking about LNG imports, he also came to meet Secretary Petroleum, Dr. Vijay Kelkar, and said that we also want to be a part of this new journey of LNG, and because largely the LNG would be replacing our liquid fuels, so why can't we also be part of Petronet LNG? So that's how the company was formed, Petronet LNG, with the participation of GAIL, IOC, BPCL, and then subsequently, of course, ONGC also came along. The ONGC was not a bogey to this part of replacing fuel, but they were also made to join. Only the HPCL was left, and then subsequently when HPCL also asked, they were told that now the equity is over. So I just was asking other panelists that to what extent you feel that in commercial, in societies, you have cascades of LPG being pipe is already there. And in commercial establishments, in industries, how far the liquid LNG and the gaseous, regasified LNG be supplied to the consumers, replacing petrol, diesel, and LPG in a big way. Because 12th plan, we envisaged that 25% of household, kitchen household cooking gas, 25% would be RLNG through the pipe gas, and the balance 75% should be the LPG cylinders. So, I mean, what's your view on this? To what extent you could replace these liquid fuels and LPG by regasified LNG, which is somewhat cheaper compared to these fuels?
So good afternoon, sir. And sorry, I was late due to some stuck up in the traffic. There are 2-3 parts of this question, and 2-3 parts of there will be answers. So first, let us talk about the transport sector, which is everybody talking that we'll put 100 LNG stations, 200 LNG stations. We believe, and the data suggests that around 60% of the transport, of diesel transport, is intracity. Long haul is only 40%, so intracity is around 60% is the intracity transport. So we think that in next 10 years, this intracity transport will be replaced gradually by the either CNG or LNG. So this will be the first phase of this one. Slowly, the once the stations comes, boil-off issues are resolved, interdependency on the other CGD entity to take the boil-off or some help to the new LNG players who are putting LNG stations are solved. Slowly, the long haul also will be getting converted to this one. So 10 years, we believe that around the 60%, part of that 30-40% will be replaced by our LNG across. Second part is that if you see the highly polluting industry, take example of cement, take example of mining, they will be the first to convert, and they are converting to LNG. Because if you ask them to do for net zero, it's very difficult for them to go net zero through mining or through cement. So what is the option left for them? The first and foremost thing what they can think of is the transportation. So what transportation they are doing, they can replace, and we are seeing in Orissa, in Rajasthan, in BPC, and when I was in IGL, that they are preferring to switch over to LNG to comply with the net zero targets. So this is the part of transportation. Yeah. If you talk about LPG being replaced by our PNG in industry and in household, so if you see around 40 million is the approximately sale as of now of LPG across India. And government is yesterday, I think, also announced around 25 lakhs connection to Ujjwala customers. So there is a dichotomy that there is a push from both sides that LPG also to go up, and we are also investing heavily. All CGD companies are investing heavily in PNG. So somewhere it has to merge, the directionally. Somewhere it has to merge, and we have to decide. Because what we believe, that LPG is not a fuel to be burned. LPG has got a better utilization in petrochemicals, better use of this. So in 10 years, whatever targets has been given to the CGD companies of converting around 25%, I think that will be achieved. It will take time. It is a very, capital incentive thing. Initially, you don't see any profit in this. But if you remember, if you see in 1910 or 1940, 1940 I think, 1940 when LPG started, nobody was taking LPG. People were scared. I have seen one photo in my first posting as sales officer. That time SKO, I think it was introduced around 1900, and he had a photo. In that photo, you can see one collector. That time collector used to wear half pants, khaki. So he was there in the Mela, and he was trying to sell SKO. So the journey has started from there. And slowly, because PNG is a better fuel, it doesn't have uses like LPG. So with the conversion of thoughts of all the CGD company and the ecosystem developing and the prices being reasonable than LPG, I think slowly we will be able to replace around 30-40% in next 10 years the LPG requirement for household. Similarly, it will be replacing the requirement of industry also. See, there was a challenge with the small industry. They were not able to get LPG, but now they have come up with a big cylinders, 450 kg cylinders. So even oil companies are innovating how to supply to them. But as I said, LPG has a better uses. So somewhere we will converse, and same companies are there. They will think of better uses of LPG and switch to more PNG connections.
So thank you. Thanks a lot. I mean, giving order of magnitude about the volumes. BPCL has always been an innovative company. So is IOC. So yes, we look for a better future. In fact, as far as RLNG or LNG supplies instead of liquid fuels, because having some kind of new things being happening on geopolitical stage, I think we should have a balanced portfolio between liquid petroleum product, oil and natural gas. And I'm really not very sure and want to be sure about that, yes, we should have 15% penetration of gas in total energy supplies. So with that, I come to Mr. Sachar. Now you have a lot of job at your end to do. So how you are geared up if, let us say, 30-40% of replacement happens in next 10, 15 years. So how you are geared up for the heavy duty vehicles?
Good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me to this discussion. As it was mentioned, we have a lot of things to do, but I have a different opinion because we as auto industry, like 3 years before, whether it is Ashok Leyland or other OEMs, we have already got our products homologated. So one way I, on behalf of commercial vehicle industry, can definitely say that we are already ready. We are waiting for the availability of fuel. And I would like to further say, because there are many kind of discussions happening on kind of climate control, pollution. So it is a kind of very catchy sentence which is kind of heard many times, that 3% of vehicles, commercial vehicles in India contribute to close to 42% of pollution. So while this LNG proposition can contribute, it is good on money part, which is price economics. It is good, better than at least kind of conventional fuel. So it can easily take a big space. And taking a clue from what was said by you in the very beginning, we need to do some kind of lobbying, I will say rather communication. If I say we as auto industry, we are in a phase of creating Vision 2047. So it will have 3 phases, 2025 to 2030. Phase 1, 5 years, then 7 years, then 10 years. So we are kind of making for each segment, two-wheeler, passenger vehicle, commercial vehicle, what kind of technology will contribute how much percentage going forward in terms of their contribution, in terms of their kind of percentage. So rather, while we are discussing internally, the clarity on two-wheeler passenger car is there. But for commercial vehicle, I am still kind of sorry to say how much percentage it will take. We need to have more deliberation so that if that is depicted, because it is still going to take another 4 months till it reaches PMO level and gets approved. So we need to kind of, among the stakeholders, we need to deliberate more so that it can get its due recognition in Vision 2047 for auto industry. So if I kind of say for LNG vehicles, we are thankful we have INX, they have already localized, and going forward those cylinders will further, we will have kind of, I wish there will be more competition. So there is nothing else rather for as an auto industry which was different in terms of for us to be ready. So one way, rather 2 years before we were giving this feedback during budget that we should do something for LNG because of geopolitical situation. Somewhere we kind of missed it out. while at least at Society of Indian Automotive Manufacturers, we had a clear mandate for long haul, LNG is the solution. So probably it has to kind of be brought back to discussion and also depicted well so that it gets its due recognition that what percentage. And we kind of, as auto industry itself is a big consumer, because of its price economics it will kind of gain. And we have oil marketing companies, they have a lot of requirement of trucks. So to begin with, we can have initial numbers coming up. So I'm very hopeful that yes, we will be able to depict a good kind of direction for next 22 years. What is our vision? How much percentage of these kind of vehicles we need in the total volume? This is my 2 cents for
I
today.
think that's a great idea, in fact, to really get government attention. By this entire fuel supply chain replacement, how much CO2 emissions you could reduce, perhaps that would be a more attractive option to the government compared to what the fuel in terms of value or in terms of quantity we could replace. But in terms of replacing CO2 emissions by this liquid fuel replacement to the gaseous fuel replacement would be a much better option to get better policies from the government. That's what I believe.
I would like to add 30 seconds more.
Yeah.
While we are discussing for commercial vehicle space, there are discussions, can we have like toll cards? So they can be there for, say, electric vehicles. Similarly, they can be there for LNG vehicles also, because distribution is better than what it is today.
Let me tell you that electrical vehicles perhaps emit more than the gaseous vehicles. We can discuss this later on. But as far as my understanding goes of handling all the fuels, electrical vehicles would emit more than the gaseous or LNG or CNG vehicles. And there is a theory for that. We can discuss it later. Yeah, coming to Mr. Joshi. Now, you are wonderful. I mean, your kind of modular approach, that really gives a good hope to the industry to grow in a big way. Now, besides smaller LNG terminals, then going down to the truck labels, what's your supply chain and how far you are in position to cater to this industry, the cryogenic storages in different forms, in different modular forms for different utilizations. But I believe that we haven't thought of, Dr. Balyan is there, but we should also have the smaller LNG import terminal or supplying LNG and liquid form from a major LNG terminal to smaller LNG terminals. So that is the way the ecosystem could develop, because some of the port locations and the nearby areas may not have the major industries demand. So from the point of view of the modular approach from large to small, I mean, how best you are placed both for the storages as well as vaporization systems?
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It's my privilege to share this dais with eminent panelists. Thank you for that, Mr. Frankfurt. Now, addressing to your concern, Inox is present right from the 200-liter liquid cylinder up to, say, 1,500 meter cube storage vessels. We are into the manufacturing cryogenic equipment. Okay. Now, I will address the first aspect of transportation side. So on the transportation side, we are always ahead of the market requirement So in 2018-19, when people were talking about going for this LNG fuel trucks and all for long haulage and heavy duty applications, so that time itself we had developed, we had indigenized this LNG fuel tanks, and we were geared up that time. Subsequent to that, in 2020-21, of course, government had given a thrust for BS6 rollout that time. So OEMs, they decided to target the BS6 implementation first, and in 21 onwards, they started focusing on LNG fuel vehicle. So that time we were geared up to manufacture roughly around say 3,000 fuel tanks per annum. Now that these LNG fuel vehicles are plying on the road, of course it's merely around 1,000 numbers as of now, but we have made an announcement about a couple of months ago, none less than by our MD, that we are ready and we will be having a manufacturing facility to roll out 30,000 fuel tanks per annum basis. So that will certainly address the demand of the LNG fuel tanks from the OEM's perspective or even from the aftermarket perspective. Okay, so as far as small cylinders are concerned, we are present. Now coming on to the second aspect for the infrastructure or the modularized concept for the fuel tanks. So for modularized concept of the fuel stations, so fuel stations per se, we have a solution available. There were certain challenges from the statutory aspects which has now overcome, and we are pretty confident that going forward we will have a modularized concept for the fueling stations as well, so that implementation of the stations can be on a fast track mode. And addressing the third aspect of what you have referred about, that is small scale LNG terminal or mini LNG terminal. So on the mini LNG terminal, of course, in India, all the time we have targeted to go on a land-based terminal, which not only involve large capex, but also the time consuming. So right from the conceptualization stage to the implementation stage and final commissioning, it normally takes around 8 to 10 years. Vis-a-vis when we talk about the small scale LNG terminal, so small scale LNG terminal that can be easily set up in say couple of years, and one can have lower capex vis-a-vis land-based terminal, and then the return will also be faster. So for that we have a manufacturing capacity of say double wall tanks up to 1500 meter cube, and single wall tank also we can manufacture. And regasification front, we don't foresee any challenges, be it for a 15,000 meter cube per hour or even more than that, having a battery limit pressure of say 30 bar or even more than that. And in the downstream, if somebody is looking for the truck loading base from such kind of small terminals, that is also feasible. In the videos which has been run during the breaks and all, you would have noticed that we have set up one installation at Scotland for marine harvest, which has got 1,000 meter cube each tank, 2 numbers tanks, which has got a multiple applications down the stream, which has got truck loading base, regasification module, and as well as bunkering application also. So likewise, if somebody is eyeing for such kind of terminal in India, we are there.
No, that's a great thing, because rather than having, if your demand centers are not nearby, rather than having a major terminal, which currently are running at under capacity, this concept goes much better. So that's really a great concept. Now coming to the second round, I would like to leave at least 5 to 10 minutes for people to ask questions. So Dr. Sastry, you are a part of Gas Society. The policies which are required by many of these companies who are into the LNG business, so how best you could help on the policy side? And also that what policies are required by the companies to smoothly transition from liquid fuel to the gaseous fuel. Yesterday also, Dr. Montek Singh Ahluwalia, he said that, yes, we are looking into the climate change aspects. We have to transition from higher carbon emitting solid liquid to the gaseous fuels, and then ultimately, of course, to the renewables and all that. So what's your views, what's the views of gas society on
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. My dear co-panelists and the august audience, I really appreciate. Am I audible?
you can come here.
No. Am I audible? Yeah. So, one thing which you mentioned I liked very much. Before I come to other things, you use the term Shitala.
Shitala is a better term because these days such terms are more heard.
Yes.
And obviously, because this goes down up to the remotest area. Sheetal, everyone knows. Sheetal, Taral was one of the terminology which was used by Dr. Balyan for the liquid LNG. So Sheetal, Taral, these terms should be used for the liquid LNG.
Yes, so that's a very good
Just to add
names,
that, with the government also, we were
Yeah,
Ujjwala. In place of that, we are pursuing Parjula.
yeah.
Because that's a support we are wanting for the CGD sector for the PNG part, similar to LPG.
Yes, so the beauty of today's business environment is that it is the era of mutual coexistence, not that something will work in isolation. So I'm sure that Ujjwala and Shitala can coexist peacefully and beautifully and profitably. That's my observation in response to what you said. And secondly, almost everyone has talked about, you use the word lobbying, somebody said collective effort, somebody said communication and so on. So we can summarize all these things by saying policy advocacy, and yes, in my opinion, the answer to that is collective efforts, and natural gas society
Yeah.
provides excellent platform to address such issues, because I would take not more than 1 minute in talking about the background of Natural Gas Society. It was founded in year 2006, and it is a non-profit body promoted by the industry, and I'm very happy to share that today more than 30 organizations are its members, including Indian Oil, Bharat Petroleum, GAIL is of course a patron member, and there are many private entities also who are our members. You name the big player in the gas industry and they are our members, apart from many of the individual members. So this is a very strong forum to take up the issues. But at the same time, whichever area we are working, Inox is having some strength, GAIL is having some strength, Indian Oil, Mr. Masood Sheikh is having some strength, Mr. Neeraj Bhatnagar is very good at data, he is having his own strength. We have the patrons and guides like Dr. Balyan, Dr. Manmohan Ahuja. So the effort is to bring everybody together. And if you have to popularize or make the dream of ssLNG economy in our country a reality, we need to integrate everyone. We have to have addressed the shippers, the companies who are making huge investments in creating the terminal facilities, the CGD companies, the OEMs. In general, what I have observed that we discuss a lot about many things, but we tend to lose the sight of OEMs and the vendors and the contractors. So that is also one of the, and we have on board
That's right.
those as well. For example, the latest addition to the membership of society is that of Teledyne Gas and Flame Detection, USA, and they are having factory in UK also. So our objective is just our Pradhan Mantri ji says, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, Sabka Prayas, and that is the philosophy which
Actually, I think that's really great to learn about, and Yes, it's great to know that your society is going to help in a big way to and cater to the industry. Now, coming to the policy side,
Yes, sir.
Ah.
I have not yet completed. I have very
Yeah.
two,
Yeah,
two small
that's-
points.
yeah, because,
So the very
time-
purpose of this society was to promote, facilitate, and further the sustainable and long-term growth of the industry. Number two is, as we all know, everybody has unique strength, but unless those strengths are integrated, there is no use in having those isolated strengths. तो सबको एक साथ लाना है तो उसके लिए हम what we do is we have a platform for knowledge and expertise sharing, and that too in a practical manner. We have come out with a new initiative which we have termed as Gyananubhav Pravah Sayatra. It simply means Gyan is knowledge, Anubhav is experience, and Pravah is flow or exchange. So that involves sharing of knowledge combined with practical, visible things. जैसे मिश्रा जी ने वहाँ अंडमान में किया, जब इनका ये सब हो जाएगा हम कहेंगे भाई हम सब इंडस्ट्री के मेंबर्स को ले जाएंगे, आप प्रेजेंटेशन भी दीजिए, दिखाई भी. तो we have conducted this journey since 23. First we had at MGL Mumbai where they shared their best practices in safety, followed by Thingas where they showcased their LNG storage and dispensing facilities. And thirdly and most importantly, we have international collaborations as well. Like we have an MOU with IGEM, that is Institution of Gas Engineers and Managers UK, who have a long experience in standards and city gas, and they are working in hydrogen also. Second, Russians are sitting here. I am very happy to share that Russian Gas Society has been after us for almost 6 to 8 months that please sign an MOU. There were certain issues which we are still discussing, and we will have collaboration with
I
them
think
as well.
we should have views of.
तो पॉलिसी का जहाँ तक सवाल है, आपने कहा कि पॉलिसी के बारे में क्या सोचती है एनजीएस, सबके हम लेंगे व्यूज और इंटीग्रेट, जैसे सियाम है सोसाइटी ऑफ इंडियन ऑटोमोटिव मैन्युफैक्चरर्स, इन्होंने कहा.
We would like to listen on the policy side from the industry also.
Ah.
So, Mr. Mishra, what, in your view, do you need from the government on the policy side for the small scale LNG?
Sir,
One minute.
Yeah, as far as the only 2-3 points what I will tell, then one major point which requires the LNG to promote LNG as transport fuel, which we are demanding every time, the parity between CNG and LNG. Because CNG was implemented way back as because of the Supreme Court judgment where they are telling that this natural gas vehicle should be promoted. So LNG is also a natural gas vehicle. When the domestic gas allocation is given to the CNG sector, why not to the LNG? Number two, the BOG, even if the standalone station is there, but the whatever BOG is getting generated in the vehicle as well as in the tank, it is not getting captured. Because every, like this society is there, everybody is there, they're talking about the emission norms, but finally methane is emitted,
Escaping into the
we are living in the atmosphere and nobody is talking about that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, one day something will come and all these stations will close. And what our simple like petition is that whatever 300, 400 kg of gas is getting generated, please allow us to connect to some customer nearby.
that's
Like in
very
my
important.
own station, there is a hotel. And they require around 50 to 60 kg of LPG per day.
Yeah,
but I cannot connect because the local CGD's company is not allowing me. So this is a very small
These
like
are, this is a
request.
very,
So, sir,
very,
unless,
very important point.
CNG, PNG, CNG and LNG is not, parity is not there. It is difficult, number one. Number two, this capturing. I am telling you, these two things happen, and even this only BOG thing happened. BOG, there was a committee formed by the government. Finally, this thing has come. I was also the member. But the final line is that whenever there is a problem, first you should contact the CGD company. If they are okay, then it is okay. And if they are not okay, come to us. But after come to us, what will be done? But our request was, you just connect one customer, allow us. We will lay pipeline.
That's very,
we will
very
spend money.
pertinent, yeah.
So
Kapil.
this is the, I think, policy required
Yeah.
for.
Kapil.
Sir, before that, I
No,
need only,
just
only
let
30
him,
seconds.
let him speak. We don't have time now. Yeah, please.
Adding to him, the further thing is one is the incentive part, like what EV is giving, similar kind of incentive the government can think of because someone has to promote it. So similar to EV, GST part, which is there on the truck, it's good that from 28 it has come to 18 now.
Yeah.
But even EV have a 5%. So similar kind of support will help the transporters to convert to LNG because the difference between the cost was around 15 to 20 lakh per truck. So they look at the cost and the payback period. Second, the thing is that green corridor or the toll-free system for the EV parts also. That is also one of the major thing which can be looked into. Apart from that, let me.
Rajiv, your points.
On the policy side,
On the policy side, what fiscal dispensation or what kind of exemptions or any other support you require from the government?
so policy side, sir has spoken and all, that BOG is the issue. I think some solution has been given, but we need to have a permanent solution for that. Secondly, we need some kind of subsidies or topped up small scale LNGs at remote locations. Because what is happening, if you go by the definition, CGD is a city gas distribution network, but we have gone to the villages. Now, just give an example of BPCL, which has gone allotted GA of Jammu and Kashmir. So the line will go up to Jammu. How to supply to Kashmir? So I need a small scale LNG or LNG plant at Jammu. If I go by today's costing, it will be around 5, minimum 5 per MMBTU. 5 or 6 it will come. That will not be viable for me to supply to Kashmir.
Okay.
So unless it comes down to 2.5 MMBTU, I'll be able to supply. So we need that type of subsidy or encouragement from the government in the beginning so that we can go to remote areas. Like another BPCL has been awarded is the Arunachal Pradesh. That is also like that. So we need some kind of subsidy incentive like EV for promoting of transport LNGs in these remote areas.
Besides what has been said, I would ask government to give me 10 corridors, long corridors dedicated for LNG so that we can provide infra and vehicles can fly.
So that's great. Yeah. Joshi.
I feel that government should mandate some percentage of vehicles for certain
Okay.
sector to go
That's
on.
a very
LNG.
important point.
And second thing, prioritize for loading, unloading of those vehicles at customers' place as well as at loading point also, so that people, I mean the transporters, they will also get motivated to switch to this.
So like EVs, the tax dispensation kind of thing, that's a big point. So time's up. And questions? Yeah, any questions? Where is the Slido?
Dr. Sharma, can I?
Arman? Slido. Your questions?
Dr. Sharma, can I ask, please? This one. I have a question for Viral Joshi. Viral, you mentioned that you have modular cylinders starting from as low as, I think 200 you mentioned, and starting from 200 to 1500.
200 liter to 1500 meter cube.
Yeah, that's what you mentioned and I
Right,
heard you. So if the cylinders are there and if the users are also there, and I think Dr. Sharma also raised this question yesterday as well, that certain isolated societies can be furnished LNG by such methods. So user is there, you have the cylinder, and there is, I'm pretty sure in the country there are filling facilities there. I am the one at least who have created a filling facility, and we did a pilot project, Dr. Sharma, for this, supplying to Arizona. Then where are the things stuck? Why they are not moving? Can you please elaborate on that?
So, sir, you have already demonstrated, so in my opinion, you would be able to answer this question in a better manner. Okay. In fact, yesterday Dr. Balyan also asked me about this solution, and I explained him about this same case study. And if this is to be given a thrust, then in my opinion, wherever the LCNG stations or LNG stations are being set up, maybe these infrastructure creators, they can think about catering their end customers with this liquid cylinder module.
So this question by Neeraj Bhatnagar.
Nee, Ahuja sahab, one main problem in this setup is that, like, you cannot fill the tankers at the dispensing stations. This is the major lacuna is there. But what happens? I have to bring the sand like my tanker all the way from terminal to this location. This is the main problem. As per the PESO approval, you cannot fill the tanker at this station. And carrying the small cylinder, that is a cryogenic cylinder, is a costly affair. So final economics goes.
Dr. Sharma, just a suggestion here. I mean, I see great opportunity for this sector to grow. One of the areas that I feel in the NCR itself is where perhaps all the companies can coordinate with power producing equipment, you know, like the generators that around, if you just want to collate that, it would be of the order of 400 to 450 megawatt power, which is run on diesel. So from the point of view of reducing the emissions and also having a cleaner thing, there is a great opportunity I see. I don't know about what work is being done, but if we replace that, that fuel with LNG, would be, I think, not only increasing the gas usage, but also addressing the emissions issue as well. And say, great opportunity, 400, 450 megawatt is what is estimated.
So there is a question about the stranded gas. Now, it's basically the pricing. Government has to mandate a price like HPHT gas or price equal to LNG import. So obviously, I mean, the stranded gas can be monetized. But as yet, neither the industry has asked for it, nor any other body has really asked for it. We flare about 2.6 million standard cubic meter of gas besides the stranded gas. If LNG pricing or even the CBM or any other pricing, the market pricing is given to the stranded gas, it can be monetized and could be transported in LNG form also. But then there is no policy on the stranded gas as well as the flared gas. Besides, of course, the emissions are being there from the flared gas and stranded. Stranded, of course, is not there, but the flared gas, we do have the emissions.
Sir, I will add to that. As such, the small scale LNG, that liquefaction plant also, the GAIL has already done a pilot project at Vijaypur. Around 18 metric ton per unit, there are 2 units. So those things we have tied up with Galileo, and now we are having a final agreement with them for production in India also. So that way, those kind of ssLNG which can liquefy this gas and can be prevented from flaring. So I think IOCL has also done an agreement with ONGC also, and we are also trying to have a tie-up with some of these oil companies where there are isolated fields. We can convert that into liquefied and then can be transported in the form of the LNG. That is
But what you are telling is right, there is no policy guideline available.
Policy is not.
Yeah.
Basically what happens, all these stranded gas fields are under, actually they are a government thing. The ONGC and Oil India is only the operator. So they don't have the right to give it to Indian Oil or anybody. We have already signed one agreement and we will be doing that. The things are moving. Approximately 80 to 100 metric ton per day of feed gas. Feed gas liquefaction. The first project is likely to be done very soon. So if that pilot project will done, I think more than 250 such fields are there in India. More than 1 million ton of gas is available.
You have any?
Regarding Sir's question of NCR, I was in IGL. So mostly the power cut is less in Delhi. And now the mandate is there, they have to have a dual fuel or CNG. So already, I think that time we had around 15,000 DG sets which were getting converted to CNG. So that has been done in Delhi and Delhi NCR. So that LNG is already CNG done. So it will be as per mandate of COQM, it has to be converted to LNG. Regarding small scale LNG, as sir said that GAIL did it a bigger way. IGL and BPCL are trying to put it small scale LNGs, and we are working for that. As I told, that current costs are beyond the economical viability of small scale LNG plants. But if many vendors comes, more people comes, we can always do it. One idea which came to our mind during our discussion was sweating the current asset wherever we are having excess capacity of our compression. There we can we convert them to LNG and make it at a lower cost. So standalone may be a costlier one, but if you have a CNG station club with that small scale LNG, can you club and make it viable for that? So yeah, small scale LNG has to be there because we have to, if we have to supply to remote areas, we have to connect between two missing link of pipelines in hilly area. The small scale LNG has to be there and made it उसको viable बनाना बहुत जरूरी होगा हमारे लिए. Thank you.
So thank you everyone on dais, and thank you Dr. Shastri for your views on.
Only one appeal I want to make to everybody. Everybody has their own pain points. So my appeal to all is that please compile those things, refer to us, and we assure you that we will compile and take up with the appropriate authority, be it PNGRB, be it government, and because this is a national issue. Thank you.